Welcome to episode 6 of Character Unlock. This week we're going to be talking some stealth games. We're going to be visiting Motorsport Manager, some Titanfall, and going through an award show, the first video game award show of the season, I suppose you'd call it. I'm hosting, as always. I'm Andrew Brooker, and with me is my good buddy Mr. Miller. You alright, John?
Howdy doody. Here once again, listening to you be abusive to pretty much anything in the world.
Well, that's what I'm here for. It's what I live for. It's the only reason I get out of bed in the morning. I need to have a negative opinion on everything.
Yeah.
How you doing then, mate? You alright?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. Everything is going along nicely. I can't believe we're allowed to have this many episodes before people have taken us off the airwaves.
6 episodes in, mate. We're doing alright. Well, I suppose 5, technically. Just a really long episode 4, so it became 4 and 5.
Well, that's what the fans wanted, wasn't it?
True. It seemed to go down alright, though, so I'm quite happy with that. Anyways, do stuff for today. We're talking about last episode. If you want to listen to last episode, it's up on the iTunes stream and up on the website. You can go and listen to it there. Until then, we're going to talk about other stuff. So, last Friday, was the Golden Joystick Awards, mate.
Yeah, the most important of all of the award ceremonies for video games.
Well, it's just more AAA gaming industry self-congratulatory bullshit. Completely unnecessary, but it gives us a reason to cheer for games or boo at games, and all of us hope that Call of Duty doesn't win anything and other things do win stuff. So
yeah, but this one's decided by the fans, so therefore it's the one that people care about. If by
that
fans it means corporations that probably paid for more votes.
That just means I can blame it on the stupidity of other people and not the corporations. I'm still going to blame it on stupid people. No, to be fair, I mean, obviously we'll go through the results in a bit, but the results weren't that bad. I think I agree with the ones I can agree with. I agree with most of them. There are a few that I haven't played, so can't go, well, yeah, but...
Well, there's a number on there that I voted for, and there's a number on there that I didn't vote for, to the point where I was wishing there was an option to negatively vote for stuff.
Yeah, I don't think I wanted to negatively vote for anything. I definitely got my votes in, but I think for the most part I was happy with the results. So should we have a bash through and go through them?
Yeah, start from the top.
So, the best original game. So, the best original game, the nominees were Abzu, which is a weird underwater thing, I believe. I've not played it. Firewatch, which is something I desperately want to play. And fellow foul critic podcaster Brian Plank has recently finished and recommended I get in and play. So next time I come across it in a sale, I will definitely be picking it up. I've not played it yet. Fury, which I don't know. I mean, if you've played any of these and you know them, mate, please jump in, because otherwise it's just going to be me going, no.
I'm pretty sure I could name the ones that I've played as the ones that came last, pretty much, and all
Fair
of
enough.
the categories.
No Man's Sky. Did you play No Man's Sky?
No, it's PlayStation exclusive, and I don't think I've actually played my PlayStation since I bought it.
Fair enough. Quantum Break, which I haven't played yet.
Nope.
Soma, which I picked up for like £3 in a sale a couple of months ago, and I haven't gotten around to playing it, and I'm desperate to because it looks fucking shit scary. The Division,
which I played and really wish I hadn't played. Sometimes it's not good.
I didn't play it for much. I think I played the demo, the beta.
It suffers from typical MMO douchebaggery of dude with really high level gear sitting in the middle of the zone just shooting everyone who comes near him, and then people who hack and glitch the game to this extent where they can just sort of sit there, one shot kill people, take all their stuff,
okay,
and just keep doing that over and over.
Fair enough. And The Witness, which I believe is a puzzle game, which I haven't played yet.
Nope.
But it is on my list of ones to play. But the game that won, and actually I have to admit I'm quite happy with this, was Overwatch.
Yeah. Now
Overwatch
was free this weekend, wasn't it?
It was free this week.
I didn't play it, which I'm really annoyed by, because I specifically downloaded it to play it this weekend, and then never got around to it. I ended up playing FIFA, of all things, most of this weekend.
Well, I tell you what, right? I mean, if this isn't a good enough reason to pick up Overwatch, I bought Overwatch at full price, digitally, so it's £50.
Yep.
And I am not pissed off that I bought a multiplayer-only game for £50.
Okay.
It is outstanding. And I don't really do multiplayer anymore. Overwatch is fucking great. It's got this stupid pay-to-buy loot boxes mechanic, but it's not pay to win at all. Everything is what's the word? Cosmetic.
Yeah, that's the one.
Everything in those boxes is purely cosmetic. It's just sprays that you can tag on things, different clothes.
Team Fortress hats.
Yeah, no hats, but yeah, Team Fortress hats essentially. It makes no difference to the way the game plays at all. So you can go into the game and be a level 1, and you're on apart from obviously experience and maybe you're a bit of a moron playing multiplayer shooters. You know, you're on an even playing field with the guy that's been playing it since the day it came out. And you know he's a level 60 or whatever the level cap is. I don't know. There's no weapon unlocks. There's no skill unlocks. You get all the skills. The skills change with every character, and you just get in and play, and you find the characters you're good with, or if you're a decent player, you find the characters that your team needs at the time, and you use them. And like I say, it doesn't matter if you're a new player or a veteran player. You're all on an even playing field, and it's that for me is pretty refreshing because you play like Battlefield for a good example.
Yeah.
If I don't have a chance to play Battlefield for the first couple of weeks,
you're going to be a bit fucked because all the people are going to have all the high level.
Well, that's it. By the time you get to the multiplayer, you're not having a good time because you're just getting your ass handed to you by guys that have done nothing but play Battlefield solidly for the last 15 days. And you're like, well, I'm not having any fun. Overwatch, whether you're winning or losing, you're having a blast. And, you don't feel like other people are overpowered. You feel like you got your ass handed to you. You need to either learn the character you're playing with or go find someone else to play with.
Yeah.
It's perfect. It's really, really well balanced like that. I can't recommend Overwatch enough.
Well, it's like my friends that I play with frequently, they got Overwatch when it came out, and they played it, and they really enjoyed it because they just essentially were playing what they thought Team Fortress 2 on console. New generation consoles rather. So they were all happy about that. And I watched at least one of them streaming it, and I just looked at it and I was like, this doesn't look all that fun. But they kept saying to me that it's a lot more fun to play than to watch. It's not a fun game to watch. You don't get the same kind of feel out of it. Because it does seem to be you need to run in, kill 2 people, get killed frequently just to get the objective to move forward, is that you need to be on fucking ADD medication or something.
Yeah, it does kind of have that feel to it. But I would definitely say, if it has another free weekend, get it installed and have a bash. I would say, if it goes, hopefully the day this goes out, we're talking Black Friday sales in full effect. If it happens to be 20 quid somewhere in a Black Friday sale, absolutely pick it up. You won't regret it.
To match the free weekend that it was this weekend, which I've got it downloaded, it means that I just need to pay for an unlock now. But yeah. I'm pretty sure you can get it for 30 quid on the Xbox Live Store at the moment. So if on Black Friday I can't see a copy of it cheaper than 30 quid, I might just go, fuck it, 30 quid. What's 30 quid? I get paid tomorrow.
Yeah. That's it. All the DLC that comes through is free. You don't have to buy the loot boxes. It's not a necessity in the slightest. I think I bought 1 or 2 and kind of went, this is, it's completely random. I can't control what I'm getting. I'm not doing that. I'll just wait for stuff to unlock on its own. It's not a necessity for the game. So, I can't recommend Overwatch enough. It is just an outstanding game.
All right, move on to next category of best storytelling.
Yeah, do you want to go through this one?
Yeah, I'll take it. The nominees for this one were Firewatch, which was nominated earlier. Oxenfree, which I haven't played and have never heard of before right now.
No, me neither.
Quantum Break, which was nominated earlier. Rise of the Tomb Raider, which I haven't got around to playing, but I've got.
It's very good.
Soma, which, again, mentioned earlier. Tales from the Borderlands, which I've got. We'll get onto later. I will end up playing it along with all of the other episodic games that I've bought earlier this week.
It is one of the best ones of those as well.
Uncharted 4, A Thief's End, which is not been out that long as far as I'm aware, so not entirely sure how it gets nominated for a.
I think it's been out longer than Overwatch. I think.
All right.
It's been out a while. It just, to be honest, it kind of passed me by. I'm not that big an Uncharted fan, so I didn't bother really picking it. At some point, I'll rent it and run through it just to see how it ends.
I find it amusing how it's lower in the nominees list than Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
And the other one is Zero Time Dilemma, which sounds kind
Never
of
heard of it.
funky. I'm gonna try and find out more about that game, I think, because that sounds kind of cool. So I'm just going to quickly do a quick Google search for that. At this time, I'm also going to tell you that the winner was The Witcher 3: Blood and Wine.
Which I've not played.
Nope, neither have I.
Not played it. I never played number one. I don't currently have a pick. Well, I suppose my laptop now will.
I was going to say,
Witcher, but I just can't be asked.
Do you? You must have a fucking.
I've got several machines that can run The Witcher. I think that'd be okay.
Yeah.
The Witcher 2 I've got on Xbox One because it's some backwards compatibility, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Blood and Wine is the second add-on adventure for The Witcher.
Blood and Wine's
3.
DLC.
Yeah, I kind of fucking knew that wasn't the name of the actual title. Just for some reason it just. Oh, okay, Zero Time Dilemma is a 3DS game. Not interested.
You're not interested in a 3DS game?
I have a 3DS. Its sole purpose is playing Pokemon.
That's going to be my next question. Are you not playing Pokemon?
Shut up. And no, I'm not playing Pokemon because it's not out until tomorrow.
But yeah, so I mean, I never played The Witcher 1, 2, so there was no point in me touching 3. I get the feeling I can pick up 3 and just play it if I want, but I can't be asked.
It'll probably go Games with Gold.
I hope so, just so I can give it a try, just so I want to have a look at it. But I mean, at the end of the day, like I listened to a couple of games podcasts, and one specifically, one of the guys has been playing The Witcher since it came out and still hasn't finished it because he just doesn't have time. I'm like, I know that feeling really well, but I get really annoyed if I leave a game half finished and go play something else, which actually means that The Witcher would take valuable gaming time away from something else. So no.
Yeah, well, even if it doesn't go Games with Gold, I'm betting there's going to be a Witcher 3 complete pack.
There already is.
There we go.
There is the Game of the Year edition out. I think it's about 30, 35 quid.
That's still probably too much.
It's too much for me. It's one of those games that I'll pick up when it's in a bargain bin somewhere and it will just forever sit on my pile of shame.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, right, so let's do this. So we're going to skip a few of these and we're going to go, because holy balls, we didn't think this through, and there are a lot of nominations for some of these. There are 18 nominations for Best Visual Design, and we're not going through all of these. So the winner for Best Visual Design was The Witcher 3, Blood and Wine. Again, I guess it looks really nice. I've not played it. Best Audio went to Fallout 4, which, again, I've not played Fallout 4. It's not my kind of thing. Have you played Fallout 4, mate?
No, I have not played any of the Fallout games apart from the second one.
Fair enough. So fuck Fallout 4. We're not playing that. We're not talking about that. We're going to move on, and we're going to say Best Multiplayer Game.
Overwatch.
So, Overwatch. There was never going to be another fucking answer to that one. Never ever was anything going to be Overwatch for multiplayer this year.
Well, especially not like Call of Duty Black Ops 3 or FIFA 17.
Yeah, absolutely not.
The only one on there that I would consider to possibly be even remotely considered for best multiplayer would be either Rainbow Six Siege or World of Warships.
I've not played World of Warships. I didn't get on with Rainbow Six Siege. Didn't really like it that much.
I loved Rainbow Six Siege, and it's probably one of my games from this year, I'd say.
Cool. The list for best indie game is full of stuff that we've already spoken about. So we'll just say that Firewatch won best indie game. From what I gather, it's very well deserved. I promise at some point I will buy you and pick you up Firewatch and I will play. I'm sorry.
Best gaming moment in association with Absolute Radio. Right.
Yeah, corporate sponsorship.
Apparently the winner is Play of the Game in Overwatch, whatever that means.
Well, this is one of those things. So obviously Overwatch is a standard multiplayer game. So you get, I can't remember if it's 6-on-6. I think it's 6-on-6.
Makes sense.
But so at the end of every round, you will get a play of the game, and it's a character who did something really cool or something a bit badass.
It's like somebody gets like a high score in, I don't know, some kind of points thing.
Well, it tends to be like a set moment as well. So I think the last one I got really chuffed with it as well, and I kept tweeting the video out because I was really chuffed with myself for it. But I was a particular character. I chased down 2 or 3 characters and killed them all in very quick succession, and then avoided one guy killing me to melee him to death, and what I kept to point as I was doing it. Is that kind of thing. And that thing lasted about 12 seconds. But in that 12 seconds it was absolutely mental and really, really fun. It is quite satisfying to get play of the game.
Alright.
Because it's not something you can guess that you're going to get. So, and it's basically, it's exclusively for people that actually try to play the game, instead of people that find a good way to camp or find a good way to cheapen the game for their own ends.
Okay.
You actually have to you have to play and do something really cool in game, and it's a really cool feeling to get that. So I would be okay with that, I think.
Well, considering some of the other options, which include flying the Falcon in Star Wars Battlefront, don't really think that's a best gaming moment. Because
it did lose out to it did beat unleashing the BFG 9000, which is utter bullshit. Nothing beats BFG 9000.
How about BFG 10,000 in the next Doom game?
Well, maybe, but until then. So the next one I think is going to be an interesting one to talk about. Maybe we should have thought about this and started here.
Most wanted game in association with Green Man Gaming. So the nominees for this include God of War, Resident Evil 7, Sea of Thieves, which I actually kind of like the look of, personally, and the winner of Mass Effect Andromeda. Big grin on my face for that.
Nah.
Well, some of us are looking forward to it.
I can honestly see why it won. It's a massive deal, that game, but I mean,
those of us with taste in video games are want to play Mass Effect Andromeda. People like you can have your Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, or whatever.
Fuck Legend of Zelda. Fuck Zelda and everybody that looks like her. But no, I mean, in the list, obviously, you've got Days Gone, which is, Sons of Anarchy meets The Last of Us, which looks awesome. God of War, I kind of fancy the look of, even though it's basically, Granddad of War. He's now, Nordic. Resi 7, absolutely looking forward to that. But the big one in that list for me is Horizon. I'm desperate to play Horizon.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
And that will be, obviously dependent on what money looks like at the time when it comes out, but that will be the game that makes me go, I need to go and buy a PS4 Pro. Because I've spoken about these guys a lot before, but it's made by Guerrilla Games, guys that make Killzone. I will play anything those guys make. So I'm really looking forward to Horizon. It looks awesome.
Right. Winner of Competitive Game of the Year was, funnily enough, Overwatch.
I think we've spoken about that enough.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to talk about that anymore.
Yeah. So we're going to PC Game of the Year. And once again, winner, Overwatch.
Wow. I mean, that game, it deserves to clean up a little bit. But wow, it's impressive that it won that many.
Yeah. Nintendo Game of the Year would be The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess HD. Because apparently a new original story for The Legend of Zelda Triforce Heroes isn't as good as a remaster of a very, very old Wii game. PlayStation Game of the Year, with a list of games that I include things like No Man's Sky and Uncharted, the Nathan Drake collection. I think that's all of the PlayStation exclusives on there.
Ratchet & Clank.
And Gravity Rush Remastered. Winner is Uncharted 4, A Thief's End.
I mean, that was pretty much a given. Whether or not people liked it, it was always going to win that.
Yeah.
It is fucking bizarre. I mean, am I missing something? Is there no Xbox Game of the Year in this?
I can't see one in the list, which is a little odd.
Wow. Well,
maybe there wasn't one?
Maybe there wasn't one. Oh, well. Okay, so the big one then, the big Game of the Year.
Yeah.
Wow, okay. So the nominees for Game of the Year. I've got to admit, this is a pretty decent list. So Deus Ex Mankind Divided, which, we've spoken about a lot in a previous episode. It's an excellent game. Doom. I haven't spoken about Doom enough. I'm not going to go into it now, and I know you're not a fan of the company that published it. Mate, you've got to fucking play Doom. I mean, I don't think it's as good as a lot of people make out, and I don't think it deserves to be on a Game of the Year list, but fuck me, was it fun.
Yeah, okay.
Fallout 4. We've already established that neither of us have played that. Halo 5? Did you play any of Halo 5?
Do I have Halo 5? I might have Halo 5. I'm not... I've made my feelings about Halo pretty clear in the past. I don't play them very often, but I think I've got at least the Master Chief Collection.
Okay.
So I might have 5.
I played Halo 5 multiplayer for a little bit in a beta testing session. Played Halo 5 somewhere. It was Halo multiplayer. It didn't really... don't care. Hitman. Now, Hitman, definitely worth being up there for Game of the Year. Although, when these nominations went up, I'm not entirely sure Hitman was finished.
No, it probably wasn't. Mainly because it's only just been finished.
Yeah, which is a bit cheeky. Inside. I don't know Inside. I think we've established that one already. Neither of us played No Man's Sky. Overwatch is on the list.
Funny.
PES 2017.
Funny how that's on the list, but FIFA isn't. has proven the fact that it's a much better game this year around its pairs over.
This I have a real problem with, this next one. I really just...
No, I agree with you. It's not a game that should be on a list of Game of the Year, but seeing as
Pokemon Go.
It won Handheld Game of the Year, so...
Pokemon Go. Fuck Pokemon Go and anyone that fucking plays it.
No one plays Pokemon Go anymore.
I mean, it's an absolute money spinner. I mean, it done everybody that had anything to do with it. It made them a fortune, and now it's gone. Like, it shouldn't be in game. No game that's that quickly forgotten should be in Game of the Year. But that's just my opinion.
The amount of money that Nintendo printed because of that now, basically, the way that their stock went up, I really should have bought, when I knew about Pokemon Go being released, I really should have bought some Nintendo stock. Like, Nintendo stock, which is ridiculously cheap almost all year round, goes up by a ridiculous... I think it hit the cap that the Japanese stock market has twice.
Fucking hell.
It's like, the Japanese stock market has a cap on how much growth they can have in the space of over a day or something, and it hit that twice, 2 days in a row.
Jesus, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'll let him off. Still, Pokemon Go.
Fuck Pokemon Go.
Absolutely. We have Rise of the Tomb Raider, which you said you haven't played it yet, didn't you?
No, I've got it. It's sitting on in front of me.
I haven't finished it yet. I think I'm about halfway through.
I still haven't finished the last Tomb Raider game.
The last Tomb Raider game I really liked, and I would quite happily play it again. This one, there seemed to have a lot more backtracking in it, and when I bought it, I just didn't really have time to do that kind of shit, so I just never went back. I really should go back and finish it. I might pick up the 20th Anniversary Edition on PS4, just to see if there's any difference.
Okay.
Yeah. The Witness, I mentioned this earlier, it's a puzzle game, I think, that I haven't played yet. Total War Warhammer. No.
Fuck Warhammer.
I'm not really a Total War fan anymore. Uncharted 4, The Thief's End, which you mentioned before, was always going to be on that list. And XCOM 2, which is in my must-play at some point list, but I kind of refuse to play it on console, so I haven't gotten around to playing it yet.
So I did a bit of digging, and I found out there was an Xbox Game of the Year.
There was?
Yeah, it was Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Okay. This entire award show was sponsored by the website that I'm on.
Yep.
Why is it not on there? This is some pretty fucking terrible... Well, I should have done my research before we started talking, really.
Yeah, we probably should have looked to make sure they had all the fucking nominees, but apparently... No.
Rise of the Tomb Raider. Okay. It's deserving, I suppose. And the winner of Game of the Year, which seems almost anticlimactic, considering I know neither of us have played it yet. The winner of Game of the Year for 2016 is Dark Souls 3, which is interesting.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people really like it. I also know a lot of people have said it's not as good as 2, or is it that it's better than 2? I can't remember.
I don't know. I think people said that 2's not as good as 1, so if 3's not as good as 2, then it's by default not as good as 1.
But what a lot of people have said is it's not as good as Bloodborne.
Ooh.
And that's... Well, because Bloodborne's made by the same people.
Yeah.
But
that's the PlayStation exclusive,
But
isn't
that's
it?
the PlayStation exclusive. And that one came out last year. And that one cleaned up a lot last year. But it seems to have taken a slight step sideways, maybe, and still managed to win Game of the Year. Okay. I mean, like I said earlier, I don't put much stock in these. They're interesting to see winners, but, my tastes vary a lot from yours vary a lot from mine, and ours vary a lot from everybody else's. And
yeah, but ours is the right one.
This is true. But apart from Mass Effect.
Yeah.
But
Dick.
But I will never ever play Fallout 4. I just won't. Not in a million years. I might try Dark Souls 3. I have all the others just waiting there for me to play, and I've just not played them. So at some point, maybe I should. I just can't be asked. I got about a quarter of the way through Demon's Souls and went, this is far too punishing for me. This isn't fun. Fuck this. And turned it off and went and played Call of Duty or something. I just didn't care.
So something that requires no brain activity whatsoever.
But yeah, that was the...
There was another category that I found that was Developer of the Year. It was CD Projekt Red.
For The Witcher.
So, The Witcher guys, yeah.
Cool. Good guy. I have to admit, I'm excited about their next project, but The Witcher, like we said before. But they're making Cyberpunk 2077 next.
That just sounds stupid.
Well, a big RPG set in a cyberpunk world works wonders for me. It's basically Blade Runner.
Well, yeah. Isn't there a new Blade Runner film coming?
Yes, there is. It's being made by Denis Villeneuve.
Yeah.
Have you seen Arrival yet?
Not yet.
Go and watch Arrival and it will change your mind.
Well, I like all of his other films, but Arrival just doesn't seem like the kind of film I can entertain myself with.
Arrival will change your mind.
Okay.
Trust me. But yeah, a cyberpunk Blade Runner-ish RPG from the guys that know how to make a good RPG, I'll give CD Projekt Red a go.
Cool.
But is that all of the awards? That's all of them now. Isn't it?
Yeah, I can't bother to look for more awards now.
Fair enough.
Having to go to multiple websites to find all of the awards, when I was told that they were all on one, when they quite clearly weren't.
Yeah.
Dick splash.
But that was going to be our only bit of news. But then just before we started recording, there was one final bit that we really kind of need to touch on. And we won't necessarily do this every time they announce these, but I think this month it's worth mentioning that Microsoft announced December's Games for Gold, which the announcement, as it always does, it kind of came out of nowhere, and all of a sudden, holy crap, look at all this. So next month's Games for Gold, we're going to have on Xbox One the definitive edition of Sleeping Dogs, which it's a game that I know we both really, really like.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to play Nightmare at North Point.
I don't know if I'll pick it up, and I'll definitely pick it up. I don't know if I'll play it, and that's only because I 100%ed it, I platinumed it, and done all the DLC on PS3, and then I bought the definitive edition on sale on PS4 and platinumed that. I'm not sure I've got it in me to do it a third time.
You know what you need? You need a pork bun.
I need a pork bun, absolutely. I might pick it up, because it's kind of one of those games you can pick up and just play for half an hour, and then turn it off, and it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, you never really. It's not until you get to the later stages when you want to start doing the Fight Club missions for those achievements that you actually start to realise that you need to give it a bit more playtime in a row, because you need to get yourself a bit more okay with the fighting style and the very Arkham Asylum style counter system.
Yeah. Absolutely. But this is kind of. Obviously, I'm sure you and I will both recommend these as December kind of rolls on. But this bit of the news is basically one long recommendation to keep an eye on the Xbox One Games for Gold stuff, because holy hell, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Because we have Sleeping Dogs. We're going to get Outlast as well. Now, I can't remember if we mentioned this on the horror episode with Tony a couple of weeks ago, but I think someone may have done it when we were talking to the guys on Twitter and Facebook and that. Outlast is an outstanding little horror game. It is really, really scary. Obviously, if you're not into horror games, you won't like it, but if you're into horror games or horror films, definitely one worth having a look at. I would recommend Outlast completely.
Yeah.
The only one on the list so far that I don't know, and I own it because I've had it on PlayStation Plus, is Outland. I don't fucking know what Outland is.
I know the name, but I don't know where from.
But the big one for me, and this, I could not fucking believe it, and I was so happy when I saw this. So it goes on to backwards compatibility today, and in December it goes free on Games for Gold, is Criterion's Burnout Paradise.
Yeah.
That
wasn't
Christmas
announced as going
sorted.
back compatible.
Yeah, it goes backwards compatible today.
Yeah, and then it's free later on next month.
Yeah. So if you already own it digitally or on disc, you can play it today. But if you don't, you can get it for free in a couple of weeks, and then you can play it. But yeah, Christmas sorted, that is. I'm quite happy with that. That's a game I worked my bollocks off to platinum back in the day. I wouldn't mind doing that again. Although, it's got a camera achievement on the Xbox.
Okay.
It needs to take there's an achievement where it has to take a picture of you.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that shitty little camera add-on works on the Xbox One.
Probably not.
Yeah. So for all those achievement hunters that get pissy because the game has unobtainable trophies or unobtainable achievements, that would be up there, I reckon. But yeah, it doesn't fucking matter. It's Burnout Paradise. Just fucking play it. It's outstanding. It's what Forza Horizon wishes it was.
Yeah.
All good? Unless you want to...
No, that pretty much covers it. Move on to what we've been playing. I, for the last couple of weeks, although completely forgot that I was playing it, because it's just that easy to immerse yourself in to play in the background, is Motorsport Manager. You may have heard me mention it before when I was at EGX. Motorsport Manager is a play on the game that was released on iOS back in 2014, and again on Android in 2015. Was released a couple of weeks ago, on the 9th of November, for PC on Steam. I believe is a good place to download it from, or direct from themselves, which I think is what I did. It's a very, very interesting game. if you like anything about motorsport, then it's a very nice little game to play. You can just sit there, laptop on your legs, TV on in the background, watching something that you only need to put half focus on. Say, I don't know, an episode of your latest soap. Stick that on in the background,
and then WWE.
Yep, there we go. There's a good soap for you right there. Bit of SmackDown Live. And then your laptop in front of you, and you've got Motorsport Manager on, just like you would if you were a Football Manager fan. You could just have that on. You don't need to put full focus onto it. Although there are some hardcore players, obviously, that wear suits when they're like at a cup final or something. Yes,
Seriously?
Those people exist. Yeah.
Do they also play Pokemon Go?
They probably don't have enough time to play Pokemon Go with all the Football Managers they're playing.
I was hoping they'd be like a cross-demographic, and burning both of them would solve a lot of problems.
No, sadly, you're going to have to go out your way for this one a little bit.
Fuck. Okay. Sorry, mate, carry on.
The thing is that it's a really interesting first effort to put racing management games back, because there is a couple of racing management games out there that are on the internet. You can you sign in, set up an account, and it's basic racing management. You control the team, you pick your drivers, you pick your the color of your car, some sponsors, the fuel that you have, tires, all that crap. You pick all of that stuff, and then you race against other people in your title championship that is against other people around the world. There are loads of like that. So this is the first real one in a long time that's been downloadable. Now, again, it's brought by the guys that bring us Football Manager. It's part of Sega's publishment. The developer is Play Sport Games, with the director of Christian West, who designed the original on mobile before being picked up by Sega. And like I said, it's a game you can just play in the background because it's very simple, point and click. This is what you need to pick. You pick your car, you pick your team. You start with picking your championship. I personally have started right at the bottom, and you pick the team that you want to manage. I've personally picked the worst team, the one with the least expectations of them. That way I can't put any. Then that way I can't. My team's expected to come last in the championship, basically. So I can't do badly.
So you can't disappoint anyone.
Yeah. I literally, all I can do is do better.
Fair enough.
So I've got nothing to worry about. It's come last. Oh no, I've come last, just like we were expected to come last. So I've got that going for me. And I'm about 5 or 6 races into my series.
Okay.
Yeah, despite having the fact I've played it for 2 weeks, the races do take a fair amount of time because, well, it's 1 minute and 30 seconds average, roughly, for a lap, and then I'm doing full races. Yeah, I'm doing the full length racing, so I've got 50 to 70 odd laps at 1 minute 30 a lap. So they take some time, and you also you're controlling your team. They're going around the track, and you just keep an eye on what's going on. So if the weather changes, which happens fairly frequently in some countries, so you need to bring them in, change to wet weather tyres or intermediates, and then wet weather tyres. Then there's also, if you've got your opponents coming into the pit, you need to make the choice. Do you go, if I stay out for a lap, then come in, I've got, these tyres will definitely make it to the end of the race, or do I bring them in now, and that way they might not make it to the end of the race, but they also may not make it to the end of the race. It's kind of clever, and it's very, very similar to real life motorsport in that the way you need to go for your tactics around it. So yeah, all in all, it's probably the fact that I completely forgot that I'd been playing it all this for the last 2 weeks, and I was really struggling to think of a game that wasn't FIFA to talk about. I think I've done all right.
Yeah, I think that this is kind of that thing that's going to happen in about 3 to 4 weeks' time. Maybe kind of like the other side of Christmas. And I'll be like, what have you been playing? Well, nothing. Just nothing. Because bullshit. Nothing. But no, that sounds all right. That's that, because you... what was the one you used to play at work? The online one?
Yes. Good question.
Okay, fair enough.
Used to play with Harlan.
Yes, you did.
You see, I'm going to try and remember that now.
See, you say, proper motorsport tactics. For me, mate, the only tactic there is for motorsport is see motorsport on the telly, change the channel. I am such, just sports in general, just no. But it's good, would you, for someone not me, but is it something that like F1 fans should pick up, or is it something Football Manager fans should pick up, or who would you say is the target audience for this? Not just people that like spreadsheets.
The target audience is absolutely F1 fans, or just single-seater open-wheel racing fans, so IndyCar fans. Basically, yeah, people like that. Well, yeah, I suppose there's some people out there that would, Football Manager games fans would probably like. I think that the name of the game that me and Harlan used to play while we were at work, when we probably shouldn't have been playing it while we were at work, is funnily enough also called...
That's all right. You knew your current boss ain't listening, mate.
No, neither's the old boss.
No.
Why didn't I do any work today? I was busy playing Motorsport Manager, because funnily enough, that game was also called Motorsport Manager.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, it's
Fair
called
enough.
MSM, Motorsport Manager. All three different words, capitals.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
There's a lot of imagination going through the motorsport management video game world.
Yeah, pretty much. What have you been playing then, Mr. Brooker?
So I'm gonna touch on two games. I'm gonna talk about one properly, and I'm gonna briefly touch on another. But the first one I want to talk about.
Being greedy now, aren't you?
I am a little bit. Only because, well, no. Let me talk about the first one first. So the first one I'm going to talk about was a genuine surprise for me. I rented this game because I knew it wasn't going to be my thing. I just wanted to see how it played and what it was like, and that's Titanfall 2. Now let me begin by saying the way EA have sold this game is a fucking travesty. Titanfall 2 came out in between Battlefield 1 and Call of Duty Infinite Warfare / Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered.
Yeah,
and
that's probably poor marketing right there.
Modern Warfare Remastered excluded, mainly because I haven't finished it, and nostalgia is just awesome. But of those three games, of Titanfall, Battlefield, and Infinite Warfare, I have had the most fun with Titanfall 2.
Really?
And not only is it the most fun I've had with the shooter this year, it is probably the best game I've played this year.
Okay.
Bear with me, I will explain myself, I promise.
You better explain yourself.
Right. The thing with this game, okay, so obviously the biggest problem with this game is it's called Titanfall 2, which is a real pain in the ass, because Titanfall 1 had no story, and Titanfall 2 throws you straight into story. But it should have been called like Titanfall, I don't know, Rise of something.
Okay.
But anyway, so Titanfall 2 now has a single player. On the surface, and even for the first couple of missions, it feels like Titanfall. It feels like Titanfall 1 did, just with a story. It feels like it's a game made by the guys that made Call of Duty and Medal of Honor, and it's just a sci-fi game. And occasionally you get to run around in a mech and kill people.
Yeah.
Here's
Sounds like
the thing.
Titanfall.
Yeah. Now, Titanfall 2's story is only about, I think it took me 7 hours, maybe 7.5 hours to finish. It's not very long. But about the halfway point, suddenly this game takes a massive left turn and throws you into some of the best level design you will see in a shooter ever. And I know you're just about to start playing this game, so I promise you I won't spoil anything. Not only because of you, but I genuinely think everybody should go out, if you're a shooter fan, obviously, you should go out and buy this game and play it. About halfway through, suddenly you're in this area, and basically you're inside a giant factory that makes homes.
Okay.
Like it just slots bits of house and garden and things together. And it's basically making these massive homes in a factory. But because it's a factory, these bits of home are just like bits of platform and spin around, and sometimes they're flat, sometimes they're up on their side, and you have to use them to traverse to new areas. So it's this massive first-person platforming puzzle in this enormous world. But whereas like Mirror's Edge all those years ago, so what's Mirror's Edge, like 2008, 2009, something like that? Whenever the fuck Mirror's Edge came out. Whereas that felt clunky, certainly as far as I was concerned, with its first-person puzzling.
Yeah.
You know, it just felt fluid. There was no way to get stuck. If you got stuck, there was a mechanic where your helmet would put a display in front of you and show you the route that you needed to take.
Yeah.
So you didn't have to figure anything out. You just had to figure out the timings to get, across certain bits. But yeah, there's this gorgeous level where you have to bounce across platforms to get to the next bit, and then you wipe out a load of people and go open a door and move to the next bit, and then you've got to do another bit where you've got to bounce across some platforms. It's a gorgeous level. It's superb level design. But it gets better. After you finish that level, the platforming puzzle changes in as much as you're given a time travel mechanic.
Okay.
And I didn't see this coming. And I promise you, I won't tell you how you get it, none of that. But there's a time travel mechanic. Literally, it's a quick button press. So let's say, for example, you're in a lobby to a building, and it's the present day. You time travel, you hit the time travel button, and literally it's just like left bumper. And suddenly, where it was present day and it was in ruins, now it's back to how it was before whatever happened. And it's a pristine building. But you use that to traverse through this building. So there'll be doors that you can't get through, like in the past. So you tap your time travel button to go back to the present, and that door's been blown away for some reason. So you can walk through it. But it also means you can toy with people that you're fighting with.
Yeah.
Like at one point, I ran at this group of people, and then hit my time travel button. So jumped, turned around, hit my time travel button again, and now I've just appeared behind them.
Yeah.
But the beauty of it is they react to it.
Oh.
When you come back in, they're talking. Oh shit, where did he go? And then oh shit, there he is. It's this really really cool, and it blew me away. It was so much fun. There are times when in both present and past you're fighting enemies. So like there's monsters that are going around the place in the present that are chasing you around the building. So you have to remember that they're going to be there if you go back into the present, or if you go back into the past, there's guys with guns. You don't get to keep it forever. It's not something that's introduced and then you keep it forever. It's just for that one particular mission. Get yourself through where you need to get through, get to the end of the mission, and you don't have it anymore. But I could not believe it. It's an EA game. Okay, it's Respawn Entertainment, so it's the guys, like I said, made Medal of Honor and Call of Duty, and you can, like they did with Titanfall, they basically sold it on that. But they could have half-assed this campaign, given you 6 hours of just corridor shooter, and left it. But no, they put real effort into this, and it is one of the best shooters I've ever played. And it gets so much better, because, like I've said a million times, I don't play multiplayer. I thought I'd give the multiplayer a bash. I love it. The multiplayer is fucking brilliant.
Alright. Yeah.
And the multiplayer is fucking brilliant for the same reason that Overwatch multiplayer is brilliant. Doesn't matter whether you're winning or losing, you always feel powerful, you always feel like you're able to kill somebody, and you're always having fun. At no point did I ever... Oh no, okay, there were a couple of times where I thought someone was being cheap and just kind of camping away. But, he only got a couple of shots off before someone turned up with a Titan and stuffed a rocket up his ass.
Well, that's always the thing with Titanfall, is that it doesn't matter how good or bad you feel like you're doing, there's always the game changer that is the Titans.
Yep. But it's such an easy game to balance badly, and it's such an easy game to have overpowered mechs in. But they're not. You feel powerful when you've got your mechs, but I'm running around and I suddenly come across one, but he's trying to chase somebody else who doesn't see me behind him. I managed to take out, several Titans on foot, not having a Titan myself, and not feel like A, I was cheating, or B, if he'd have turned around and seen me, I'd have been squashed like an ant.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel like he was too powerful for me to take on. I felt like I could chase him down with my rocket launcher, and it was a really cool feeling. This game, I can't believe how good it is, and I can't believe how much fun I'm having with it. And my only regret is the fact that I rented it thinking it was going to be shit, because now I've finished the story. I can't really justify spending money on buying it, which I really wish I did. But there are rumours that it's going to be dropping to like 30 quid over Black Friday, so I might be picking it up if I've got the spare cash. But I recommend it wholeheartedly. Absolutely outstanding. But yeah, a fucking travesty releasing it when they did. EA kind of left it out there to die, and
it's kind of like they didn't trust it for some strange reason.
That's exactly what it is. They didn't trust that it would sell. They didn't trust that it would bring the crowds in, and it's better than anything EA have put out this year so far. I haven't played much of Battlefield 1, so I'm sure Battlefield 1 is very, very good. But the limited time I had with Battlefield 1, I enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy it half as much as I enjoyed it.
No, I understand where you come from. I mean, I like the story to Battlefield 1. I've played a fair bit of the multiplayer. I've played a lot more of the multiplayer to Modern Warfare Remastered. Haven't touched the multiplayer to Infinite Warfare, but I know that I will play and love the Titanfall because I did for the first one.
Yeah, see, I don't know what the challenges are acting like. I don't know if they're back. I'm not really paying much attention. I'm just enjoying running around killing. That's all I really want to do.
Isn't that the whole point of Titanfall? Is just run around killing things.
Exactly.
That's what makes it the game that it is.
Yeah. But the other game I wanted to talk about, and I'll only briefly touch on this mainly because I haven't finished it yet, and I probably won't, certainly not for a while. But I've picked up Watch Dogs 2,
All right. Is it better than the first one? That's the only thing that I'm interested in?
Yes. It's pretty much the only reason I want to talk about it is because, yes, it is much better. I mean, for starters, Aiden Pierce was a mopey cunt.
Yeah.
And I
So was
didn't-
his family.
Yeah, well, he's the only one that seemed really pissed off about his fucking niece dying. His sister seemed almost happy about it. He cared more than she did. But this guy, he was just a mopey twat, and I didn't enjoy playing as him. I didn't really enjoy the game. It just felt like Assassin's Creed in modern times. I didn't like it at all. Watch Dogs 2 is one thing that Watch Dogs 1 wasn't, and that's fun.
All right.
I enjoy the characters. The main character that you play as, Marcus, he's a bit of a douche, but he's funny and he's fun to play as. The people he hacks with, even the dickhead from the trailers with the weird fucking glasses that have emoticons on them, that I thought was going to be absolutely unbearable. He's pretty funny. I really like it. It's still got a couple of issues that Watch Dogs 1 had, namely, if you've got the wrong car and you get caught, you alert the police, you're going to waste an hour trying to get away from them. Which was frustrating in Watch Dogs 1. It's still frustrating in Watch Dogs 2. But this time around, I don't really care that much. Again, I rented it, so if I don't finish it, I don't really care. Again, I kind of wish I'd bought it, but I would pay 20 quid for this happily and finish it. But worth a butcher's, if you've got a rental service, or if you're into those kind of games, open world, stealthy, hacky action things, it's much better than the first one. That's pretty much all I have to say about Watch Dogs 2.
Well, all good things, I guess.
It's got Ubisoft sequel syndrome. First one sucked, second one decent. It doesn't quite hit the mad change between AC1 and 2, but there is the big improvement there. But yeah, it's a very good, not very good. It's a good game that I would recommend if you happen to have nothing else to play.
At some point, that will be the case.
Yeah, that'll be about the same point I continue playing Mass Effect.
Yeah.
I think that's that. Is that all for what we've been playing?
I think so, yeah.
So let's move on to our topic of the day, which is hilarious, because obviously we discussed talking stealth games the other week when we were doing Call of Duty, and we kind of went, we'll do stealth games because Dishonored 2 is out, which is great. I've not played Dishonored 2 yet.
And I won't play Dishonored 2 at all.
I would have played Dishonored 2, but I've actually booked off holiday specifically to play Dishonored 2, and that holiday does not kick in until Friday because work.
Yeah.
So, from Friday onwards, I will be able to give you running commentary on Dishonored 2 if you require it. Until then, I have not played Dishonored 2, so we are going to have to talk about other stealth games. So sorry mate, go on.
Going by the success of when we had Mr. Tony on it, of going for 2 good, 1 bad, let's continue that trend and make it our own.
Yeah, I like that. Definitely needs to be our thing. Do we need to call it 2 good and 1 bad?
No, we need to find something more interesting to call it.
Someone that's listening needs to fix this for us, because I've got zero creativity, so I'm not coming up with anything interesting.
Answers on a postcard.
Yes, please. Any help would be appreciated. We're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we're everywhere. Come find us and give us ideas, please. But yeah, it will be a couple of good and 1 bad, or maybe when we get to the end of the year and we do Game of the Year, it'll be 3 or 5 good and 3 bad or something.
Yeah.
But yeah,
so we'll even take corporate sponsorship at this point. We're more than happy to be sellouts.
Sponsored by Green Man Gaming, who can't even put their own fucking award shows on the right website.
No,
Twats.
You're doing it wrong. You're supposed to butter them up.
It was a perfect website, and I had no issues finding the winners for your award show at all. Cunts. Anyways, so we're going to talk some stealth games. We're going to do 2 good and 1 bad stealth games. So did you want to start off with your first good one then, mate?
Let's go. Okay, so I'm going to start with, funnily enough, a stealth game, amusingly.
Splinter Cell almost like what we're here to talk about.
Yeah, I'm going with Splinter Cell Conviction.
Okay.
So, this is probably my favourite title in the Splinter Cell franchise, and probably my second favourite out of the Tom Clancy franchise. Right, the first one being Rainbow Six Siege, which I guess has some stealth to it in a roundabout way.
Yeah.
But anyway, this game split into 2 modes. There's a co-op prologue to the story, where you and your friend play as Archer and Kestrel, an American and Russian respectively, as you complete a series of missions which kind of introduces you into some of the controls, and there are some dual takedowns that you can do, which are pretty cool. It's a lot of fun, but only if you can find someone who wants to play it through properly. So if you've got my circle of friends...
You need it to go on backwards compatibility, mate. If it's stealth, I'll come play it with it.
Yep. But you follow a story that takes you into a Russian embassy on Baku. There's the underground fortress underneath the Red Square in Moscow, and spoilers to that section of the story is that both player characters die. Yeah.
Oh, shame.
Yeah. There's all that emotional tie that you get for doing like 3 missions of playing with the character.
Yeah.
But that gets you into the single player, which follows on from some of the elements of the prologue. So if you play the prologue, one of the twists in the single player isn't actually a twist.
Okay.
Yeah, it seems ridiculous that that's the case, but most people wouldn't do the co-op until they'd finished the main story anyway. So
fair enough.
It's more of a prequel rather than a prologue, in that you play the main story, then you play the co-op, and then you actually get, oh yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Anyway, in the single player, you play as a very old man, Sam Fisher. So it's 3 years after Double Agent. So you start by investigating the death of your daughter because something doesn't feel right at the time. Turns out that she's not actually dead at all.
Okay.
But overall, I'd say the storytelling is sublime. So it's absolutely outstanding story-wise. It's just there's twists, turns, and you never really know who's on your side and who's just looking out and trying to use you. Because there's just so many different times when you're talking to someone and it feels like they're on your side, only for you to later on to realise that they've actually been using you the entire time.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool. For gameplay, I'd say that the way that it uses the instructions, like in the background, so it's like it's floodlit against the wall, and like use this to kill these guys here. It looks kind of cool rather than just being the standard like standard like heads-up display that you'd normally get, where it's like do this in the bottom corner or somewhere.
Yeah, it's kind of plastered across walls and things, isn't it?
Yeah, it kind of looks like it's molded into the map itself.
Bit like when the environment talks to you in the Devil May Cry remake.
Yeah.
And the text just appears everywhere. Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
that's kind of cool. Other new interesting things is that there's a mark and execute feature that was introduced into it, kind of like what's in Hitman games, like the bullet time type thing. There's also a last known position, which puts a silhouette on the screen to where the enemy that is looking for you thinks that you are, so you can move away from that, climb up into the ceilings, or go underneath a funfair ride in one of the missions.
Yeah.
And they'll go to where it is that they last saw you, and then use that as a branching point to go out, to spread out to try and find you, and you can use that to your advantage and flank them out.
Yeah, because that's a mechanic that's been taken on by a lot of, especially Ubi games, isn't it? Like Assassin's Creed to pick that up.
Yeah, even Deus Ex has it.
Yep.
Which so it's other developers. Everyone's using it because it's a very interesting way of doing it, I think.
Well, it's for want of a better word, it's a realistic way of doing it, because if someone spots you, they're not going to forget where they saw you, are they?
No.
So they're going to go, he was over there, and then the people will go and look over there. So, from a realism point of view, I quite like it.
Yeah. However, there is one major issue, and for a stealth game, it's a pretty major one, and it's that you can't hide bodies. So there's no pickup and ability to hide the bodies that you've just put down. But at the same time, you can't even knock people unconscious. It's kill or leave alone, pretty much.
Yeah.
So there is that.
Was Conviction the one that had the black and white and colour mechanic?
When you're visible to enemies, you're in colour, I think, and when you're not, it goes very noir.
Yeah.
And I think that uses that to its advantage. A lot of people didn't like it, and I think that's why they took it out of black in Blacklist.
Yep.
Yeah, and they added the traffic light on your backpack.
Yeah.
Which does seem a bit stupid. It's like, oh, I'm hidden, so I'll have a green light blaring out to show people where I am in the shadows.
Yeah, the Blacklist was sold more as an action game, though, wasn't it? And had the ability, if you wanted to
have stealth element.
Yeah. Which, to be fair, I mean, that's kind of my favourite kind of stealth game, is one where you have the option. So if I get really pissy or I want a quick run through, I drop it onto easy and go and kill everything. But if I want a challenge, I sneak my way through, and that's where Blacklist I really enjoyed Blacklist, but I've not played Conviction yet. I never got around to it.
Simply put, for normal listeners and for you, Brooks, buy an Xbox 360 and a copy of it and play it tomorrow.
Okay.
But if it's Ubisoft listening, put it on fucking backwards compatible, you cunts.
Yeah.
It absolutely needs to be on to backwards compatible because it's by far the best game from that generation in my opinion, in stealth games.
I would expect that to happen maybe the next time we get a Splinter Cell game.
Well, we could
announced.
have how many Splinter Cell games were released on last gen? We could easily have a full Splinter Cell pack.
Yeah.
So Double Agent, Chaos Theory, Pandora Tomorrow, Conviction.
Yeah. See, I'd quite happily play Blacklist again because they had the 3 ways of going through each level.
Yeah.
And I couldn't be asked for all 3 of them. Because it meant 3 playthroughs. I was like, oh fuck that, because it was quite a long game. I was like, I can't fucking be bothered to do it. But I mean, if they went onto backwards compatible, I'd install them because they can just sit there taking up a bit of space. And then when I've got nothing better to do, let's have a go at that.
Yeah, absolutely the most fun I had playing a stealth game from last gen.
Cool. So my first one's an interesting one. I've tried very hard, and I will not. I'm not going to talk about Dishonored, not even Dishonored 1, as much as it is one of my favourite games of all time. I'll save that for when I actually spend some time talking about Dishonored 2. So my first one as a series is Thief.
All right, new one or the old one?
Well, originally the old one. So what was the first one? The Dark Project was the first one, wasn't it? And,
yeah.
Fuck me, that was late 90s? Must have been 97, 98 that one came out.
Nearly 60 years ago.
But it was, it was a proper sneaker, a first-person sneaker, as we called them then.
This sounds like a dirty porn movie.
It does a bit, doesn't it? Just something you do with one trainer.
Yeah.
But the thing it had, and what I really liked, and this was back in the days when this wasn't really a thing, but it utilised shadow, and you were given the tools to make more shadows. So water arrows to put flames out, and things like that.
Water arrows. I remember.
Yeah. And it was not in any way an action game. It was not in any way a game you were supposed to kill people in, because your main character was a thief. He wasn't Sam Fisher. He wasn't Adam Jensen. He was a thief. He'd done nothing but steal things. It was absolutely against everything the game was about to start killing people. So the best really you had was, your little... Fuck, I've forgotten what it was called. But you had your little thing you'd knock people out with, which was so funny to do. But Thief as a series was very, very good. And it kind of went downhill a little bit. But, I'm guessing you've not played the original Thief games.
No, I never played the originals.
I've not played them fucking years. I'm certain that if I tried to play them now, I would just mong out completely and not be able to do it. But did you play the remake?
I've got it installed because it went free on Games with Gold at one point.
It did.
And I've got it installed. I have every intention of playing it when I have the time to play games again.
I rented it. Did I rent it or did I buy it? No, I think I bought it and then sold it on because I didn't really... It wasn't as... I don't remember it... It wasn't as good as I remember the first one being. I think I got about 2/3 of the way through it. I got bored quite quickly. When I got seen, it felt cheap, and you almost instantly ended up in combat that you didn't want to be in. It was not a good game to put the Thief name onto, and it really didn't help that it was one of these original cross-gen games made in Unreal 3. Looked like it was made in Unreal 3. It didn't look good. It didn't play very well. It was a horrible addition to the series, but I'm sure you can still buy them, GOG or, Steam or something. You must be able to buy the Thief games from somewhere. I'd pick them up and give them a go. Again, if I find time, I'd like to go back to them. I have so many games that I'd like to go back to. I barely have time to play the games that are out at the moment.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Yeah, but no, Thief as a nostalgia property, excellent. It was a lot of fun. I don't remember it being frustrating. I remember it being bastard hard, but I don't remember it being frustrating, which is what I find with a lot of stealth games. But yeah, that was my first good one. So, what's your first? What's your first? Your one and only. What's your bad stealth game?
My bad stealth game. I'm going with Alpha Protocol.
The RPG spy game.
The RPG spy game. Yeah.
I
Tell
never
you
played
what,
it.
If someone says this game is worth playing, I will burn their cat down. Right?
Fuck you, you're wrong, and I'm going to set fire to your cat for saying so.
Exactly. So this is a game that's developed by Obsidian Entertainment. Now, as we know, Obsidian are known for making some pretty bad games in their time.
Didn't they make South Park?
Yeah, that's their one redeeming game. If you look through their entire list of games, right, and you find 2 good ones, you'd be very surprised.
Okay, fair enough.
Now, beyond that, it was published by Sega, who, as we know, have a habit of publishing literally anything.
Yeah, see that I think that says more than Obsidian deving it is Sega publishing it because no.
So, both companies very versed in spewing shit all over the place, teamed up to put out a even bigger steaming pile of shit. So, I'm going to go with some of the reviews that I managed to find for it. Okay. Huge range of technical issues, flawed combat. The enemy AI is astonishing shambles, almost to the point of being impressive. There are games in their beta stage that are more complete, better designed, and more worth paying for than this mistake.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty fucking damning.
If someone was to offer me 10 grand to play it again, I would spit in their face, set them on fire, and then piss on their flaming corpse.
You've got a real pyromaniac thing going there, mate. Are you okay?
No, because I've had to play this game in my life. Right? I'll be honest. This game was released when I was all over RPG games, and someone sold this to me as being Mass Effect meets Jack Bauer.
I was going to say this. Has this game come out kind of after? I'm going to guess after Mass Effect 2.
No, I think it was between 1 and 2.
Okay, and you've gone, more RPGs, please, and gone from Mass Effect, your favourite game of all time, to substandard, badly made, shouldn't really have been released, crappy Sega RPG.
Yeah, pretty much.
Fair enough.
No, it was released just after Mass Effect 2, you're right. So I'd have just finished Mass Effect 2 story and then gone, I found it, here we go. RPG game that's supposed to make Mass Effect look like arse in its dialogue. Yeah. So
I mean, there's a certain video game awards that we talked about earlier that can probably recommend a good RPG for you. It won a couple of awards.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and say The Witcher will probably do you better than Alpha Protocol.
Well, I played Alpha Protocol, and I really wish that what I'd done instead was drink a bottle of bleach.
Nice.
Yeah. So this game actually has 12 hours worth of cinematic sequences, but in a single playthrough you can only see a maximum of 4. Yeah, that means that in order to get all of the cinematic sequences, you need to play it through 3 fucking times.
I'm guessing that didn't happen.
No, I didn't even finish the first playthrough. I think I got about an hour and a half into that, and I just went, what the fuck am I doing with my life? And just got rid of the game.
Fair
I
enough.
don't even think I traded it in. I think I just put it in the bin.
Fair enough. Wow.
Yeah, I'm actually going to refuse to talk about it anymore. It's that bad that people out there are going, oh yeah, I love playing really bad games. No, just no.
Fair enough. We'll move swiftly on. Because mate, I'm going to piss so many people off with this. So many people off. It's going to be hilarious. And actually, I almost didn't want to do it because I'm pretty sure we don't have much credibility as it is. I'm pretty sure we're going to lose all of it when I say this one.
I'm scared now.
People won't want to hear me talk after this.
People are going to hear this, and you're going to say it, and then they're just going to turn it off, and we're going to lose all 7 of our listeners.
Yeah, but all 7 of you kind of have to bear with me and let me explain myself after I say my bad stealth game is not a game, again, it's a franchise. It's Metal Gear Solid.
I'm hanging up this call now.
And I'm not saying it's a bad game. I can't think of any actual bad stealth games. Not really. Most of them, across various spectrums, I've enjoyed them from a certain degree. From okay, that was a bit of fun to I really loved that.
You didn't play Alpha Protocol.
No, I didn't. Here's my problem with Metal Gear Solid. Have you played Metal Gear Solid? Like the series?
I played 1, 2,
Yep.
3. I didn't finish 4. I think I only managed about 20 minutes of 4. 20 minutes of gameplay of 4.
Okay.
So like 3 hours of the game.
Yeah.
And I've got 5 and Ground Zeroes installed because cheap.
Yeah. So did you play them when they came out?
I played 3 when it came out. The other one's not so. No.
Have you played them recently?
No. Not in the last. Not since 4, maybe.
If you've still got your Xbox
5 years ago?
360, go grab the Metal Gear Solid HD collection. I think it's only got 2 and 3 in it, or maybe 2, 3, and it's 2, 3, and something else. I can't remember.
Probably Acid.
Yeah, maybe. They're crap, and I'm not saying the stories are crap. They're not, and I'm not saying the gameplay. The games are crap, as in badly made. They're not.
Dated.
I have the utmost respect for Hideo Kojima. I think the guy is an amazing game developer. I've met him. He's a really nice guy. I've got my little limited edition MGS4, with his signature on it. I got him to autograph it for me. That thing will never leave my house. It's my pride and joy.
What about when you move house? Will it leave it then?
Yes. Or I just will never move house. So this is said with the utmost respect for the guys that made the game and the guys that play, who might be listening to this, who still play the games. All power to you. We have been spoilt by decent control systems recently, and more importantly, decent camera systems. Metal Gear Solid has neither of those things. They are a chore to play. They are a chore to follow the story. They are not that fun anymore. The sneaking mechanics are guff. They're not as good as people remember them. And I know people are going to disagree with me. That's fine. I don't, if I went through my entire life hoping people wouldn't disagree with me, I'd never open my gob. But that will probably be better. But I was so excited, right, when I bought the Metal Gear Solid HD collection. So this is fucking awesome. I'm going to get back onto this, and I'm going to get back in and play. It's been ages since I played these, and I must have gotten an hour and a half into Metal Gear Solid 2 and went, this is utter shite. What's more fun to do for Metal Gear Solid now is just go watch YouTube videos that will tell you the story, because the story's convoluted fucking nonsense, but they're fun. You can't fucking keep up with what's going on, but they're a bit of fun.
Get all the cutscenes as well.
Yeah. Gameplay-wise, absolute shite. Not fun, boring, a chore. An actual chore is the best word for it. I just felt like I was working. I'm not enjoying this at all. I'm just not. I will admit to having played Ground Zeroes and not hating it. I didn't mind Ground Zeroes, which was MGS5's prequel, if you like. Demo mode.
Prologue.
Yeah, it was the little, one mission release before Ground Zeroes, before Metal Gear Solid 5 came out, and I enjoyed it. It wasn't bad, but I haven't played Metal Gear Solid 5 because I can't bring myself to do it. I do want to play it, and now we've got this definitive edition out. Again, when it appears in a bargain bin, I'll pick it up and I'll give it a play. But yeah, my bad one. Like I say, not an actual bad game, but the Metal Gear series. People need to hang their hat on something a little better than that, in my opinion.
So all bad then?
No, I would. It's one of those series that just it has so much nostalgia value, and so many people love what they think they remember about it. But I would bet that a fair amount of those people, if they went back to play it now, wouldn't enjoy it. I had the exact same experience with Devil May Cry. When the Devil May Cry HD collection came out, I loved Devil May Cry when it came out. I absolutely adored it. I took time off of work and school and things, or whatever it was. It must have been work. I took time off of work and I didn't come out of my bedroom when I lived in my parents' house for like 2 days straight, just playing Devil May Cry. Went back to the HD collection and I played for about an hour and went, these controls are bollocks, this camera is bollocks, this gameplay is bollocks. I'm just not enjoying my time with it. And I had the same reaction with Metal Gear. Just, no, not my thing. Sorry. So, I mean, in case there's anybody else listening, we might as well finish it off.
Yeah.
So your last good one. Now. Yeah, your last good one then, mate.
My last good one? Probably, it's actually probably the least stealthy of the franchise, and it's Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
Okay.
So,
You mean to say you don't find big cannons on the side of a ship stealth-like?
No. Well, they are stealth boats because of the cannons. No, I think it's probably the most fun I had playing an Assassin's Creed game because I like the 18th century, New America, all that pirate stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
I mean,
golden
I'm
age of pirates.
yeah, I'm the one of 7 people who likes black sails for more
Yes.
than just boobs.
I still haven't watched Black
Just
Sails.
boobs.
Yeah. Boobs
Um,
everywhere.
yeah.
Nothing wrong with boobs.
I'd say that only Brotherhood is probably the one that I would consider to be like even remotely close to how much I enjoyed playing Assassin's Creed.
Okay.
So, because Brotherhood had all of the fun elements of 2 and none of the shit. So,
Yeah.
and then Revelations just no. 4, Black Flag, you play as Edward Kenway, who is the dad of Haytham Kenway and granddad of the Connor.
Of the Connor.
Of the Connor. I'm not even going to pretend to try and pronounce his Native American name.
I can't remember it. AC3 was so forgettable.
It's something like Rakata Kanon or something.
Yeah. I'm
Something
not
like
gonna try and say it, but I'm gonna look it up because now I'm curious.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, because we are planning a bit of an Assassin's Creed special in a few weeks,
Yeah.
mainly to cover the film.
Well, I like Assassin's Creed, and I will probably watch the Assassin's Creed film, and I might consider playing some of the newer ones that come out, especially considering you can get Unity for like £1. Like every other week, it's £1 on
Yeah.
CD keys.
Yeah, I think I picked it up on Xbox One for like £2. Just because I do want to play them all again, but then I got halfway through Assassin's Creed 1 and went, nope.
Yeah, the amount of bullshit you have to go through for the first one, considering the first one was lauded as being such an amazing game back in the day,
Yeah.
it's just so shit compared to what happened more recently.
Yeah.
Just controls when they became more refined.
Oh,
And
yeah.
the lack of repetition, well, as lack of repetition as you can have by going to area, assassinate person, go to other area, assassinate other person.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But-
this one is you're playing Edward Kenway, who's voiced by Matt Ryan, who is Constantine in the TV show Constantine.
Yeah. And Arrow.
And Arrow, also.
And the Justice League Dark cartoon.
Yep, as Constantine.
Yep. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, you start off by chasing down and killing a rogue assassin and assume his identity, because you're a pirate and it's the best thing to do, is to pretend to be someone else. And you walk into a plot to try and find the observatory, which is a giant telescope that can see everyone, basically.
Yeah.
It's like a time telescope.
It's basically, what's the thing from X-Men?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Begins with a C, and it's not cunt.
Cerebro.
Cerebro, yeah.
It's basically Assassin's Creed Cerebro.
Yeah, but you can only see people if they've given you their blood, which apparently everyone did in that game for some reason. They just gave away their blood in a little vial for no reason. Like, literally everyone. But you get to work alongside famous pirates like Blackbeard, Benjamin Hornigold, and Charles Vane.
Yeah, man.
So, and what you're trying to do is build a pirate utopia on Nassau, all while working with the other assassins and, well, trying to find the Sage, who's the only person who knows where the observatory is. Only to be, stabbed in the back by the Sage because he's only after his own gain, personal gain, rather than working with the Templars or the assassins.
Yeah. No, I really enjoyed Black Flag.
Yeah, I think my only reservation with Black Flag was that it was in 3, the ship stuff in 3 was really cool, and I was scared that they were just going, oh yeah, people like the ship stuff, so we'll just stick a game entirely around it. But you know what? It was just more fun. Like there were times when I was just sailing around listening to the sea shanties.
Yeah. See, it's interesting you say that because I hated the ship-based stuff in Assassin's Creed 3. And at this point, I was still an Assassin's Creed super fan. I worshipped that series.
Even the fact that Connor was a whiny bitch.
Yeah, even the fact that Connor was a whiny bitch, but it was set in a time that I really enjoyed, and it was based around because it was based around Native Americans. It was based around a culture that I really, I have a lot of interest in. So I forgave it a lot, so I could kind of play around in that world. but I hated the ship stuff. And when they went, we're going to do pirates, I was like, because I really don't want to do more of that ship shit. I really hated it.
But pirates.
But they improved it massively. They refined
Yeah.
it. I really, really enjoyed Black Flag. Did you ever play Rogue?
I didn't play Rogue because I got rid of both of my consoles by the time Rogue had come out. Anyway, back to Black Flag, which I was trying to talk about this
Sorry.
entire time. Just rudely interrupted.
I have a fucking story about everything. I can just talk.
Yeah, we know. Didn't take 4 years of working with you to work that out.
No.
Where was I? Yeah, so it's the well balanced, ship travel around the islands and the side missions that are a lot of fun, including chasing down the sea shanties, which was quite amusing because some of them were in pretty fun locations, including over lakes filled with crocodiles. Were they alligators?
Yeah, man.
Probably crocodiles. Doesn't really matter. To give yourself various ship upgrades, armory upgrades, and armor upgrades, and in the post game, basically, essentially, you've got 5 legendary ships to take out, which give you 20,000 royals each, rather. And there was a really interesting DLC which you play as the former first mate of Kenway, which is Adewale, in his own ship, where you try and free the Maroons from the slavers and plantations.
Yep.
Which actually has one of the small little side quests where you do the diving, which is quite fun.
Yeah.
Where you dive down to the ships, and one of the ships that you dive down to is the Jackdaw. So you know that it sank somewhere off the coast of Africa or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, all in all, probably my favourite of the Assassin's Creed games.
Nice. Well, you're going to be around for the Assassin's Creed special?
Yes, hopefully I'd have seen the film as well by that point.
Cool.
And will have played at least one of the newer ones. Hopefully, we might get lucky and Rogue might have been made backwards compatible. If not, I've played all of the others by Unity and newer. So
Yeah.
Unity's like £1, as I've said many times now, or $2.50 as you bought it. And then Syndicate, which, I don't know, I think I was interested in Syndicate, but after the arse show that was Unity,
I
I
own
was
Syndicate. It's still installed on my machine. I've not finished it.
I'm sure
I'm
that'll be
about
cheap at
halfway
some
through.
point.
Yeah. I'm about halfway through and I just went,
Is that the
I
most recent
cannot
Assassin's Creed?
it is, yeah.
Was it last year released, or was it the year
Yeah,
before?
last year.
Ah,
Last year. Victorian London one. Where you play
Yes.
twin brother and sister.
yes, you do.
Evie and something else. I've forgotten his name.
Evie and Eve.
Yeah.
Something retarded.
Master and Ms. Fry. The characters
Yeah.
are fine, the game's fine, but it's all just fine. And fine ain't good enough for Assassin's Creed for me anymore. It's not bad by any stretch, but it was pretty much my last straw. I kind of went, no, I can't be fucking bothered. And the very second something else came through my letterbox, I was like, I'd rather play that. And I just never went back.
It's the present day stuff. I'm not too fussed with the present day stuff. I mean, obviously, yes, there's an overstory to all of it to connect all the games together, but
Yeah.
I never got along with Desmond Miles. I thought he was a complete dickbag.
Yeah.
And I didn't like the fact that there was the DLC for Revelations, I think, that added to the present day story, which I thought was a bit naughty.
Was it Revelations that done that?
I think it was part of the... Oh, it might have been Brotherhood.
No,
it was...
2. It was Da Vinci.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I know the one you made. It's
Yes, because Revelations didn't have any of the present day stuff, did it?
didn't have much. No. I think it had some, but not much.
Yeah.
I can't, mate. It's all. I tell you what, it's
the-
like. It's like trying to decipher what happened in an individual season of 24. I just. It's all one long fucking game that I never stopped playing.
Yeah.
And I love Assassin's Creed, but man, trying to unpick that story. No.
All the modern day stuff is what kind of ruined what could have been a great series of games set across different time periods.
Yeah.
It's not really necessary, especially considering there's all this story for each individual game that they're putting in each individual game, and then one overstory, which is you're splitting down into
Yeah.
several different ones each year that you're just not going to remember. So I don't remember what happened in the first Assassin's Creed in the present day sections. to what happened in the second one. When the second one came out, I was so fucking confused. I had no idea what was going on for the present day bits. I was like,
Yeah.
why am I running away from all of this? What the fuck happened at the end of the first one? And it's like, here's the Animus 2.0. Why have I not got the Animus 1? What the fuck's going on? Why am I in the back of a van?
Yeah. No, the present day stuff was definitely, it was the weakest part of a lot of Assassin's Creed, but no, Syndicate I gave up with. It's still there, and I have promised myself I will finish it in time for our AC special, but I can't later, just now.
When is the AC special? Approximately. When's the film?
But it'll be, the films comes out on the 1st of January.
Okay, so
It'll be the first recording we do in January. Anyway, should we get this finished off?
Yep, let's... Whatever your number 2...
Who's number 2? The one guessing game you don't want to play. This is my number 2. It's Crispy. Crispy? Really? Crispy is never a word we use to describe them. What the fuck, Booker? Jesus Christ. Dear Lord. Fucking hell. Anyways.
Muppet.
So my second good game, my last good game, and our last stealth game for the night, actually is going to go back to something you brought up earlier, and it's a Tom Clancy one.
Ooh.
Yeah, but it's Ghost Recon Future Soldier.
Alright.
Did you ever play Future Soldier?
I didn't play the Future Soldier game.
I fucking loved Future Soldier, and it was that thing I mentioned when you were talking about Conviction, was it was an action game. It was a game where you could do whatever you wanted. You could run through and kill absolutely everyone if you really felt the need. But you had the option to stealth your way through it. You didn't have to. I don't even think there was a trophy for it. I don't think there was any advantage to doing it. I just could, so I did. You know, every mission briefing, I'd make sure at least one of my weapons was silenced, so I could sneak through areas. You know, it was just a really, really fun game to play. It was one of those kind of games that you force yourself to play pacifist, or you force yourself to play stealth, just as an added challenge. And
Yeah, I know the kind.
Future Soldier was a lot of fun to play like that. You couldn't do all of it like that. At one point, you have to chase a dude who's trying to get on a train, and there's no way on earth you do that stealthily. You just have to run and just punch him in the face. But the sections that you could play in stealth mode, or the sections that you could ninja your way through, it was so satisfying to get in and out and not be seen. It was just, for a game that you didn't have to do it for, you just kind of went, fuck it, I'm going to do it. Such a laugh. Again, if you ever get a chance to play it and you want to play it in stealth mode, absolutely give it a go. A bit like we mentioned before, Splinter Cell Blacklist, where you had like the loud action way of playing, the way that you killed everybody, but you were quiet, or the complete stealth, you left everyone alive and no one ever saw you. That was the kind of way you wanted to play Future Soldier, and it was so much fun because you could do it with you had all the tech, you could still play with the toys and the little drones and shit like that. It was just such a laugh. It was a really easy game to play, and it was a really fun game to play. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, as a whole, I think Tom Clancy games are usually probably the most fun I have playing most games, which is weird considering Ubisoft are well known for being a really bad publisher-developer combination.
Yeah. I think they do take a lot of pride in their Tom Clancy games. I don't think that counts for The Division, and I don't necessarily think that counts for like Hawks 2. But I think they
Hawks 1 in general, just Hawks.
I liked Hawks. Hawks was just stupid, dumb fun. I really enjoyed Hawks.
Nobody liked Hawks.
My brother actually is a massive fan of Hawks. I think he's actually platinumed Hawks, which is one of those so many fucking multiplayer achievements that I can't be asked. But he's a big fan. I picked it up. I played it I played the missions. I finished it, and then I never played it again. That was it. But the Tom Clancy games as a whole, I quite like. Siege, not so much. The Division, not so much. I've got, I'm hoping for big things from Wildlands. That looks like a lot of fun, but we shall see. But yeah, my last stealth game for the night would definitely be Ghost Recon Future Soldier.
Yeah, I know where you're coming from. I mean, it's not a stealth game as it was, but yeah, stealth elements to game that are probably better than a lot of stealth games as a whole.
Yeah.
My surprise is that at no point did we mention our Game of the Year from like 3 years ago.
Well, I tried
4
very
years
hard.
ago?
I tried very hard to not mention Deus Ex
Yeah.
because
So did I, to be
we
honest.
spoke about Deus Ex at length a couple of episodes ago.
Yeah.
But no, I tried to avoid that, and I wanted to avoid Dishonored. Like I said, 'cause I haven't played 2 yet, and I thoroughly expect to need to talk about Dishonored 1 when I talk about Dishonored 2. But I mean that will be later on down the line. But yeah, I think that's it. I think that's us. Is that us done?
Yeah, that's us done, just down to what other people have mentioned on Facebook, because we got nothing on Twitter.
Yeah, the bastards ignored us on Twitter, but we did get a lot on Facebook. Did you want to go through the Facebook mentions?
So I'll start with Matt Lambon, who says, curveball here, but Manhunt on the PS2 made good use of stealth whilst not forcing the game to be without action for huge periods of time. Ultra tense and truly shocking gore and execution animations for the time, lovely game. And whilst being entirely obvious, the Metal Gear Solid series lives and breathes stealth. Considering all the internal struggle at Konami, MGS5 was a triumph and one of the most satisfying games of this generation. No one does emotive gaming quite as well as Hideo Kojima.
Yeah, okay. Manhunt's a good one actually. A bit more than Future Soldier, but it's one of those ones where you don't have to play it stealthy. But it's so satisfying when you do. I would love to play Manhunt. It's such a horrible game.
Not something you should put down on a CV.
No. Not something you admit in a personality test.
No.
I
enjoy gory films and playing Manhunt.
I like to carry a bag people to death. But yeah, and I mean we touched on Metal Gear earlier, didn't we? So
yeah. Well, I've got nothing against the Metal Gear franchise. I just feel, like you said, they're dated because we've been spoiled by new control schemes, new control methods, new cameras that aren't fixed. It's kind of how I feel. I kind of half feel the way that you do about Metal Gear as if they were to ever remaster the Onimusha series. I really like and I really want Onimusha remasters.
yeah.
But 1, 2, and 3 have fixed cameras. 4 it follows over the shoulder, third person.
Yeah. Alright. But yeah, I mean Kojima is a god, and I very much look forward to seeing what he does with Death Standing,
Death something.
Death hanging around naked with naked Norman Reedus. But yeah, I look forward to seeing what he does. But yeah, that's like I said earlier, Metal Gear doesn't impress me anymore. So my buddy Jack replied several times for this. I'm just going to kind of pepper these in as we go. The first one actually, because we were kind of talking over text the other day, and we were talking about we were saying I was going to do, or I was saying we were going to do stealth games tonight, and he went, "Oh, Skyrim." I went,
What?
"Well, I've not played Skyrim. Are you taking the piss?" Because I was pretty sure he was. But he said, no, Skyrim gets a big up from me. Any game that allows you to murder an entire town in cold blood, then turn invisible when the guards come running is an excellent game for me. Not entirely sure that's what stealth means, Jack, but
No.
okay.
He's kind of half on the stealth thing because he did say turn invisible when the guards come running.
Yeah.
But the whole, let's murder an entire town is also something to not put on a personality test.
I mean, to be fair, obviously we said we're talking stealth games, not pacifist games, and they're two very different things. So I'll let him have it, but at the same time, I'm still not convinced. But I don't play Skyrim, so we have to move on from that quickly.
Okay, comment from Mr. Black.
Our buddy Tony.
MGS2, Sons of Liberty, is probably mine. Adored that game, even with all the Raiden bollocks. Amazing story and some terrific set pieces.
I feel like I'm beating this horse to death.
Everyone is saying Metal Gear. Apparently, you're wrong for this one.
Well, I knew I was going to be in the eyes of the masses. I knew I would be wrong for this one, but all of you go back and play it and see what you say then. This was an interesting one. It one more for Batman Arkham, the Arkham series. Whilst not wholeheartedly stealth, the game makes full use of mechanics of hiding from enemies to hang them from gargoyles. Even in the most recent entry of the series, Arkham Knight was brilliant for it. Now, Arkham Knight aside, because I didn't finish it, I would definitely give the Arkham series a mention for this one, because there was nothing quite as satisfying as sneaking through a room of bad guys, leaving at the end, having them all hanging unconscious with not one of them having ever seen you. That was a very satisfying way to play.
The thing is that he says that it's not really a wholehearted stealth game. It is. It's probably the most obvious stealth game there is because you're Batman.
Yeah, but
Batman lives stealth.
he does, but there's also a lot of forced combat. So all your boss fights are forced combat. There's a lot of going around the streets is forced combat. You can't avoid combat like you could with an actual proper stealth game.
I suppose.
But those sections, like those big rooms that you have to get through, and you just go through, you sneak through and knock everybody out instead of like killing them or just getting into a fist fight. Those I definitely agree with, absolutely.
Comment from Owen, our glorious leader, who says, just to echo the above mentions of Metal Gear, I really quite liked MGS5, and I expected to find it a bit too samey. Also, what was that ninja thing on the PSX? Tenchu? That was a lot of fun, though I haven't played it since it first came out.
Yeah, see, Tenchu I liked. Did you ever play Tenchu?
I didn't play Tenchu.
Tenchu was very cool. I prefer Tenchu 2.
I'd have been a bit too young for a game like Tenchu.
Yeah, maybe.
Back on the PlayStation 1.
Tenchu 2 I think I preferred. I think they refined it a little bit. I haven't played Tenchu for a long time. I do get the feeling that would also suffer horribly from dating very, very badly. I can't imagine it being that much fun to play now. I don't think I own it anymore. I've still got a PSX kicking around somewhere, but I don't think I own Tenchu anymore. And the last one from Jack, Styx Master of Shadows was also pretty decent. Never played much, but I enjoyed the time I had with it since it was free on Xbox Live some time ago. I have no comment on Styx Master of Shadows. I will have to take Jack's word for it. I never played it. I don't know what it is or what it does. I have no idea.
This is actually the first I've heard of it.
I've definitely heard of it. I never played it.
And final comment from Matt Latham. His one is original MGS. Love it. So that's another person who is no longer listening to us, thanks to you.
Literally, it's like 5 against 1.
Yeah.
Just from the people that regularly talk to us.
Yep. It's almost like you're wrong and you didn't realise it until now.
Actually, it's more like everyone else is wrong and I'm now enlightening.
Yeah, maybe. I tell you what, that's probably more likely on the grounds that they're going to look at it now and go, yeah, you're right, it is nostalgia.
I mean, it's not necessarily true. I do think that a lot of nostalgia plays a part there. But at least one of the people that commented, Matt Lamborn, our good buddy Matt Lamborn, he is a proper retro gamer. I don't think he sees things with that kind of those nostalgia glasses. I think he has quite possibly come back and played them recently. I would be curious to know the last time you played them, Matt, see if you still like them. But yeah, no, I knew it would be a bad choice, or not a bad choice. I stand by it. But I knew it would be an unpopular choice for me to say that it was the crap one. But I did defend myself and say, not the crap one, just not as good as everybody makes out. But I'm going to stop annoying people with my anti-MGS sentiment now. I think that leaves us just with recommendations for our listeners for a couple of weeks. There's not much around on the freebie front at the moment, is there?
No, I think it's probably because of the build up to Christmas that no one's really thinking, we need to throw more free games out.
Yeah.
But I will go with a free game, which is Mirror's Edge, the original, the one that's now backwards compatible and on EA Access. So a good game. There is, strangely enough, more stealth element to it, but it's got pretty decent combat to it. You spend the entire time free running from one side of the area to another, following a path sort of made out of colour. Well made, very well balanced, and was very deserving of having a sequel. Probably didn't quite live up to his expectations, though.
No, Catalyst I don't think was received quite as well, was it?
No.
Cool.
Need to play it, also free.
Yeah. My recommendation is the last of this month's Games for Gold. So you've only got about a week before this disappears, I think. And it's for Xbox One. It's Murdered Soul Suspect, which is a kind of crime puzzle drama thing. It's very short. It's very, very underrated. I remember buying this when it came out, really excited about it. I loved every minute of it. I think I 100%ed it in the first 2 days of it coming out. And it wasn't even, even that I think took 8 hours. And I think it has something like 360 collectibles. It has an insane number of collectibles and it still didn't take me long to complete it. You would do worse than to play this game. It's very, very cool. Very underrated.
Yep, it's I've downloaded it already. Just need to find time to play it. I
I'd
can get
be
away from Motorsport Manager while watching things on TV.
I'd be really interested in your thoughts because since it was announced, a lot of people have come out and said, "Oh, I bought this when it came out, and I enjoyed it much more than I thought I would." So I see a lot of that going on with this particular game. So I'd be interested to see what you think about it.
I might definitely have to give it a go by the time we record next.
Yep. I think that's us done.
Yep, I think that's us done.
So we are in the 2 weeks it's going to be because I'm there's no way, even if this thing turns out to be 4 hours long, I'm only putting one episode up because the edit for the last episode nearly killed me. So for the next 2 weeks, if someone wants to find you and it's not on a podcast, my friend, where can they find you?
They can find me on Twitter at thejohn_cu and on Xbox Live as LongDongSilver.
Cool. I am at Brooker411 on Twitter. You can find me regularly on the Foul Critics Film Podcast and writing film reviews for Foul Critics. We are at Character Unlock on Twitter, on Facebook, and on Instagram. Are we still posting things on Instagram?
Yeah, I'm still posting things whenever I take a picture of anything game related, although I don't think I've posted in a couple of days.
Cool. And if you really don't want to find us anywhere else, you will find us back here in a fortnight when I think we are possibly going to be talking about episodic games. Now that several episodic games are wrapping up for the year, it seems like a good time to talk about them.
I think we should release the podcast in episodes.
Oh, God. Any idea how much extra work that would give me?
Just need to split it at 30 minutes. Just and release one. Hey, look, you could do that, and we wouldn't have any work to do for a couple of weeks while we release like 8 30-minute episodes.
We could have Christmas off.
There we go. See, I don't come up with just bad ideas.
All right. I think it's all I have to say. Say good night, John.
Good night, John.
Good night, John.
So I've got like some races like 50 to 60, maybe even 73
I'm
laps
sorry,
long.
you're going full racist.
That's not what I said. You know it, you bastard.
You're just telling the black cars to fuck off.
Yeah. That's exactly what I'm doing. Only white tyres allowed. Black rubber on the tarmac? No, I don't want that. I want only ice and snow and
This is Trump's
white wall
America,
tyres.
damn it.
This is what I voted for.